Mr. President, Rais, thank you for your generous hospitality of having this group.
But you didn't have your lunch.
Yeah, okay, well, we are grateful already for your hospitality. and anyway, sorry asking my question before I ask. This is my third opportunity now. One in our personal one-on-one lunch we had in Ramallah a couple months ago, but the third time now in the last few months. And you've said this on the record, but the group hasn't necessarily heard it. So I would like if you could repeat for the group what I know you've said on the record. First point is you've said we want an end of conflict, end of claims. So no, and a demilitarized state. So I want to be just clear on that point. And the second question, which is more of a controversial area, and I know you'll give a set response, and I understand it, and it's controversial in Israel too, in certain quarters, and I'm not here to represent or America or Israel, but
you represent yourself.
I represent only myself. I want to be clear about that. But I just want you to know how certain words are used on the Israeli right, I would say, when you say the following. If the Israelis want to call themselves the Zionist empire, that's their business. We recognize the state of Israel. And they use your words to say, we won't say that Israel is a nation state of the Jewish people with equal rights for all its citizens, because he doesn't believe the Jews collectively have any rights here, that they have any historic legitimate claims here. And of course, the issue is, on historic legitimate claims on both sides. But the issue is, if you can explain, and I know you're going to say we didn't get it from Egypt, we get it from Jordan, I mean, I know these answers, but the people, when you don't explain why you don't want to do it, the Israeli right and the Jewish right in the United States seizes on what you say to say, aha, he doesn't believe the Jews have any rights. So I guess my question is to you is, do you say you don't want to say it for one of three reasons? A, unless it's caveated, this means you are going to discriminate against Israeli Arabs, when in fact the statement would be equal rights for all its citizens. B, it will be used to undermine the refugee issue. But this also can be caveated without prejudice to final status issues. Or C, it's a bargaining chip, and you believe the Israelis have more chips than you do, and you're putting this in your pocket till the end of the negotiations. So I can't overestimate, in my view, why your answer is really important, because it is utilized by a whole section of Israelis and people in America to say, at the end of the day, he doesn't really accept the Jews here as a collective. So I think if you would explain why you have the reservations at this point, and no one has said this is a precondition. Netanyahu has never said precondition. He's also said from the Knesset podium, equal rights for all its citizens to deal with the Israeli Arabs. And there's a way to caveat this without prejudice to final status. And then at the end of the talks, you can preserve your bargaining chip. But without you explaining why, and as opposed to just saying, Jordan, in Egypt you didn't ask, the most nefarious twist is put on your words. So every word you say is interpreted by this section as to mean he doesn't really accept. And therefore, I think it's really important to explain why. That's all. Thank you very much.
First of all, these three reasons which you mentioned, I didn't talk about. I didn't say anything. When you asked me in Washington, I think you asked the question.
Somebody else.
I told that it is up to you. It is your question. You can name yourself whatever you like. This is one. The second, you do or you do not remember that in 1993, on the 9th of September, we signed a mutual agreement between the PLO and late Prime Minister Rabin that it reads as follows. We recognize Israel's right to live and exist. This is exactly the text which brought by brought from the Israeli side by Foreign Minister of Norway, Holst. And on the other side, Rabid will say that I recognize the PLO as the representative of the Palestinian people, and I will negotiate with it accordingly. It's enough. Enough? Enough. This is exactly what you want? Okay, this is exactly what we want. We sign it. We sign it. Now, from time to time, after that, they asked us to eliminate some articles in our chapter, in our covenant charter, which are calling for destroy Israel. We said, okay. On 1996, we convened the PNC and took Palestine National Council, and we eliminated the articles. In 1998, Netanyahu insisted that we should do it again. I don't know why. Otherwise, he will not sign the agreement on Wye River. President Clinton said, you have to do it, and I will come to Gaza to attend this session of the PNC. And we did it again. So, I don't want from time to time to come with an issue, new issue here and there. Now, we didn't talk about, in the past, nobody mentioned this question, Jewish state. But it's up to you to name yourself, to go to the United Nations, to go to everybody, to tell them, now we will change our name from this to that. It's up to you, it's not up to us. And I gave examples. When you concluded a peace treaty with Jordan and Egypt, you didn't ask this question. It's up to you to do it. And I didn't mention any justification from what you mentioned.
And you say you're not going to answer me. What is the reason?
Why? Why should I do it?
Because it is.
There is no reason. But why should I do it? Because every day, every other month, you will bring something with you. Now we are talking about 6 core issues. It's only 6 stipulated in Oslo. Borders, security, Jerusalem, refugees, water, and what is that? Huh? And settlements. Okay. That's it. So let us concentrate on this. To work on it, to solve these problems. Who knows, during the negotiations, he will bring some other issue from here and there, we cannot accept.
So, the end of conflict, end of claims, demilitarized state, those are all things that you've said a legitimate historical claim.
Let me see. When we signed the agreement on these 6 issues, of course, at the end we want the prisoners to be released. There should be no prisoners, no remaining issues, no outstanding issues. But it is not one of the core issues. We are asking for it from time to time. When we sign, nobody is allowed to come after 1 month or 1 year to say, okay, this is our right there, or our right in this place, or in that place. On another word, I cannot say that Safed is my town and I want Safed to be my town. After we solve all these, what is the second?
End of conflict, end of claims. End of conflict, end of claims.
End of claims. This is end of conflict. It means the conflict will be over not only between the Palestinians and the Israelis, because if the Israelis withdraw from Golan Heights, and I think it is very, very easy, and put Shab'a farms